What's up everybody, it's your OG HERO player, and I'm coming at you today with the video that's going to give the complete breakdown of the one and only regionals from Gauteng before Nats. Before I get into all the stats, all the decks, and a layout for the day, I just want to give a huge congratulations to Pranesh Naidu. He is the man that walked away with first place on Saturday, the 18th of Feb at Nexus, becoming a 5-time regional champion, and also helped make the first bit of history for the day by being the first player in SA to get 3 regional wins in a row. So Pranesh, beautifully well done. Serious congratulations to you. You worked hard on the day, you deserved it, and you proved you're willing to grind for that top spot no matter what. But at the same time, I'm gonna say congratulations to everyone that made the top 4, the top 8, and everybody else that came through to Nexus and competed. We set 3 records on the day, technically 4, but the 3 is, like I said, Pranesh winning 3 regionals in a row. We set a store record for regionals by having 64 players partake, and at the same time that's a South African record for regionals of 64 players in a single regionals. And then the 4th piece of history that we made at Nexus was also being the very first regionals where you actually got your money's worth. You paid $350 entry, you got 5 boosters guaranteed, so you literally played for free. You paid your $350, got 5 packs, you got everything that you paid for and had a chance to play for more, especially considering the fact that random draw prizes were done throughout the day. But like I said, before I get into the whole deck list, I'm just gonna pop through some videos that I actually did manage to take on the day. I was busy judging, so I didn't get to do a whole lot of videos and photos, but yeah, here's what I did get. And as soon as it's done, we'll be jumping right into the deck list for the day. What's up everyone? We are about to get started with round 2 of regionals. We got ourselves 64 players for today. As you can see, we are quite packed. Nexus is representing. Okay. Right, you got players, you ready for round 2? Yeah. Okay. But first, let's go. Who's your favorite hero? Woo! Time starts now! Okay, we just finished lunch. We're about to start round 4. We got a couple of nice matchups prepared through the top here. We've got a saucy feature match is going to happen. We've got our top table cuts. Everyone's fed. Everyone's happy. And there you have it. That is unfortunately all I was able to record in the day. But like I said, I was busy judging the event, so I did what I could. But then let's just get straight into all the decks that were partaking on the day. We had 34 different decks that took place at this regionals. As you can see on the chart, Kashtira and the branded were the most represented decks. I knew there was going to be a lot of branded, I knew there was going to be quite a few Kashtiras, but the fact that we had 9 Kashtira and 9 branded decks is actually pretty interesting to see. Then just close behind that we had 6 Sword Soul decks, and I knew there was going to be Sword Souls as well because they can compete against Kashtira pretty well and almost everything else. And then we also had 3 Labyrinth players as well as 3 Scarecrow players, which was also pretty nice to see. And on top of that we had 3 Dragon Link decks. Amongst those Dragon Link decks there were 2 that were there was one that was a Dragon Link Bestial, and the other two were Dragoonity Dragon Links. Then we also had two Dark World Danger decks. That was something I didn't expect to see at Regionals. I don't know why, I just didn't expect we'd see a Dark World deck at a Regional. Especially after the new ban list. I knew the new ban list meant a whole lot of other decks can compete, but I was not prepared to see Dark Worlds pop up there. But the other thing that surprised me, or one of the two things that really surprised me actually, is that we had only two Exorcister players. That was the first thing that I thought there would be more of, because Exorcister is still pretty damn strong. So I'm surprised there was only two of them there. And we also had two Shark decks. So that was pretty interesting to see how that all played out. And then we just go straight into all the one-off decks that ended up showing face at Regionals. We had one Sword Soul Hero, and then there was also one Dino FTK deck, the one Rika Sun Avalon, one Salamangreat deck that came through, and there was also a Dogmatica Ritual deck. And I can't say I'm really surprised by this, but I actually am a little shocked by it, is the fact that there was only one Fluandereeze deck and one Sea Elements deck. Because I know the last ban this kind of hurt both decks, but they were still both playable. But the fact there was just one Fluandereeze and one Sea Elements deck, that was the big shock of the day. And then we also had the one Lavtron Runic Sprite deck that came through, and we had one Synchro Turbo deck. That I know that one was Milan. We all know he loves his synchros, and he did the synchroing pretty damn well actually. Well, I mean, he's gonna do them well. He's dedicated to synchros, but he rocked up with his synchro deck and he represented pretty well. We also had the one Runic for Hire deck and the one Punk Gold Pride. Like it's the fact that, okay, Punk's finally found another deck that they can jump in with pretty well, but I'm surprised that Gold Pride came through, because personally I don't see a lot happening for Gold Pride right now, but with more support I personally feel they can actually be a pretty decent and viable deck. So I was quite happy to actually see a Gold Pride deck there mixed in with the Punks. And at the same time we had one Plunder Patrol deck, and then the one Gitchy Sprite, one Weather Painter, one Galaxy Photon. And I know this guy was making some very nice use of the new Galaxy support, and all I can say is he played the deck really well, considering it's also a deck that he's really passionate about, so I was happy to see him there too. And we have our one Drytron deck that popped through, the Drytron deck, as well as the one Dragon Link Bestial deck is going to be in a video that I've uploaded separately. I'll leave the link in the description as a feature match. It's the only feature match I was able to record apart from the finals, but like I said, the judging work got the best of me there. But then we also had the one Marinces Kaiju deck, one Abyss Actors, yes, Abyss Actor. They brought Abyss Actor through, and I know everyone likes to give him grief for being so keen on Abyss Actors, but I give credit where it's due. He played the Abyss Actor deck really well. Yeah, so props to you there, Shema. And we also had the one Mech Knight deck, one Sky Striker deck, and a Malfi Tri-Brigade deck. And then we also got our first taste of the Mayakashi deck at Regionals. And then at the same time we had our one Code Talker player who loves U-linking people. And he's one of the guys I know that can actually do it pretty damn well and pretty consistently. So to see him come through with the Code Talkers was also a very nice option that we got to witness. Unfortunately for him though, the fact that his U-Link involves Ibli so well, yeah, as we've seen, this change in the meta has meant Ibli's not as unexpected as it used to be for him. So there were more people prepared for Ibli, but yeah, either which way, he still played the deck to its full potential that like only he can. And then we also had our finally the Pendulum Magician deck and one branded Despia deck. So in total, you could say we had 10 branded decks and I'm gonna say 7 Sword Soul decks, because our Sword Soul Kashtira deck was more on the Sword Soul side than the Kashtiras. It was just a nice engine that Dinesh found that worked really well for him. Because even in his deck profile, which I'll leave in the description down below as well, he mentioned that the Sword Souls was the go-to plays and the Kashtiras were his extenders, basically. Well, let's make it the Kashtiras were the secondary parts of the deck. The primary focus was on the Sword Soul. Yeah, but then as you can see here with the top 8, we had 4 Kashtira decks in top 8. And it was actually split pretty well, because we had 2 pure Kashtira decks and 2 adventure Kashtiras. And then we also had the 2 Sword Soul decks and the 1 Dino FTK deck, and then of course the Sword Soul Kashtira deck. And then as we can see here with the final 4, we were again going 50% with 2 Kashtiras, 1 pure, 1 adventure, and the Dino FTK, and also the Sword Soul Kashtira, which I have to mention the Sword Soul Kashtira separately because that is our winning deck from regionals. That is what claimed first place. Because if we go back through to the top 8, just separating it all out, we like as I mentioned, we had the 2 Sword Soul decks that were there. Because the 8th place actually went to Jody, who, to put it politely, really snuck his way through the ranks to claim that top 8 finish like from out of nowhere. Like I know he can run the Sword Souls pretty well, but like I say, he just snuck his way into 8th place, coming towards the last 2 rounds, and snagged his finishing top 8, guaranteeing himself a playmat. So Jody did really well there. And then also Christopher did pretty good with his Kashtira adventures, getting 7th place. And we had Yasha, who's also playing the Sword Soul, who took home 6th place. And then in 5th we had Rav, playing his pure Kashtira. And then going into top 4, we had Jacques with his Kashtira adventures, then Andre in 3rd with his Dino FTK deck, and we had Nikhil with pure Kashtira, and obviously Pranesh in 1st place with his Sword Soul Kashtira. So all I can say is everyone there played really well. One thing I do want to throw out there as well is the 2 players who are sponsored entry to 4 regionals. I'd like to say I had some pretty good picks. They represented pretty damn well, because the first pick that we had was with Sachin, who finished 21st out of the 64. So I was really happy with Sachin there, especially considering he hasn't been able to come through to locals all that often, but he still came through to regionals with a sponsor and got 21st place playing with his Sword Soul deck. So Sachin, all done there as well. He's a big proud boy. And then of course we had Mr. Frisbee Moonsong, Robert, who finished 11th playing his Sword Soul deck. I was also really happy with his plays for the day and very, very, very impressed. It was a little bit of a wow moment when we had Pranesh and Rob in the 5th round. So I was expecting that to be the finals, to be honest. But no, Pranesh and Rob versed off in round 5 instead of 6. So things went a little bit differently there. But overall, everyone rocked up to regionals, everyone had a good time, and everyone played their damn hearts out. So all I can say about how everyone performed is well done, guys. Well done to everyone. I'm glad you all were able to come through. Glad you all enjoyed it, and especially glad to see that the community can still come through together like this and have everyone just partake in the one and only regionals that Gauteng is having before Nats. It's like I said, it's just a good sign of the community coming together. We had quite a few players from Bloemfontein that came through. We had a decent number of the guys from Poch who also pitched up to play. So there was quite a lot of people that came through from everywhere. We had some Pretoria guys. If I remember correctly, there was someone from Durban that came through as well. I'll be honest, I can't remember, but I'm pretty sure there was someone from Durban that came through. Yeah, but anyways, so with that, the way I see this meta going forward now is like, okay, yes, we all know cash share is going to be a thing. A lot of people are going to play cash, even though they don't have that much protection for themselves. That's a very impressive, controlled game state board that they're trying to set up by locking you out of your zones. So yeah, guess Shiver's going to be there for a little bit. I know this. When I saw tier limits get hit, I knew that Brander was going to come up in the ranks. I knew Sword Soul was going to come up. So it's going to be a pretty interesting format going forward. Like I said, lots of cash, lots of branded, lots of Sword Soul. The Labyrinth decks, I know they're still trying to find their ideal groove to get to the full power that they usually can do. But I know that's not going to take too long for them. We've got our dedicated players who are building on Labyrinth pretty consistently. So we'll also have to wait and see what they come up with. But also the Dino FTK deck. the man's also dedicated himself to Dino for so many years, and I'm happy to see that dedication that he's put in. That he's still playing Dinos now, despite what the format is. He's playing the same way I do with Heroes. Doesn't matter what the format is, as long as the deck can play, we'll play it. So it's that kind of dedication that also just, in this case, as you can see, clearly paid off by having Dino finish third. But that's going to do it for today then, guys. Hope you all enjoyed the video, and at the same time I just want to say once again thank you to everyone that came through. Thank you to everyone that's helping support my channel at the moment, and just as a whole, thanks to the whole community, and thank you to Nexus for putting on the best regionals that SA has had so far. But like I said, 64 players, South African regional record, a store record for Nexus, and again, the first regionals to crown a champion 3 times in a row in Branesh and everybody else that partook in the tournament. Thank you, congratulations, and also a big thank you to Mr. Andrew Freer for helping organize such a kick-ass tournament. Or as we shall call him from now on, Mr. Nexus. Thanks guys, hope you all enjoyed, and I'll catch you next time.